Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chanel in the City podcast on iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Chanel Omari, and we have a very awesome guest here today. That's right. He's a model, a very hot one, and he's making a lot of buzz right now in New York City. You know him from Winter House, and you know him from the popular show Summer House, one of my favorites right now on Bravo TV, airing every Monday night at 9 p.m. Please help me welcome the beautiful, the talented, the funny, the hot throb, my future husband. No, I'm just kidding. Andrea Denver to the building.
Hello, Chanel. I love it. This is the best presentation I ever got in my life.
Yes?
I'm literally like, yes, the best. I love it.
Okay, good. I'm so happy. I was so nervous.
Straight to my heart.
I see it.
I love it.
You're blushing now, right? Oh my God, I made you blush.
I'm actually blushing.
By the way, to all the guys in New York City, bitch, look, I can make him blush, okay?
I love it.
How are you? I love your, by the way, first of all, I love your fashion sense on the show. I love what you're wearing right now. Talk to us about that.
I appreciate that. I just try to go with my mood at the moment, like bring the Italian style, that Italian fashion style. Like, so, I just wear what makes me feel comfortable.
I love that.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, for people who don't know where you're from originally, you're from Italy. I love Italy.
Yes.
And my dad used to work there 6 months out of the year. He would come back.
No way.
All the stories. Yeah, Sicily.
Where?
Everywhere in Italy.
Sicily.
Okay. Milan, mostly in Milan, he spent his time.
Okay.
Where are you from in Italy?
I'm from Verona, which is not too far from Milan.
Yes,
it's only like 1 hour and a half. Yeah, it's only 1 hour and a half drive, so it's really close. And yes, that's where I'm from. And still my heart belongs to my Italy, to my beloved Italy. But I love the United States, and I'm happy to be here now.
Yeah.
And I call New York home. So
yeah, let's talk about that. So coming from Italy, right? And coming to America, New York, especially the capital of everything entertainment. You're a handsome man. You have a lot going for you. Was it a change? And how did you deal with that change?
To be honest with you, it wasn't a big change because I've been coming to the United States since I was 5 years old. I spent most of my summer in California, between California and DC, because I have family there. So, I grew up like part-time American, at least during the summer. So when I actually moved, it wasn't a big change. I moved that I didn't have any friends, but then it was easy. I ended up making a lot of friends. I had never had any issues getting along with people and getting comfortable with the cities where I was living in.
That's awesome. And also, speaking of, now you're part of the Summer House, which is not only one of the best shows, and thank you, Bravo, for giving us this show. One of the best shows on TV right now. I could relate because I used to go to the Hamptons and be part of summer houses. So there's a lot of because I come from Long Island. So a lot of what we see with you guys, we can relate to.
Yeah.
But you're also in a house with very strong people, strong Americans. And the
really
funniest
strong
thing you've ever said to Paige was, you remind me of the Mean Girls,
Oh my God, that was bad.
I know. No, but it was
day one.
But it was honest, right? It's something that we all struggle to accept or be accepted, no matter how cool we think we are or how many people accept us. We still want to be accepted. So how is that? How is the experience in the Summer House?
It was definitely a lot of fun. Sometimes I felt like I was in one of those American comedies that I used to watch as a teenager. And I loved it, because you're really living it. It's real life, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like it's like watching my experiencing that is like watching live, like one of those movies that I used to watch in my teenagers days. And so it's a lot of fun. I'm grateful for that. It's a great live experience, and I got really along with all my friends, both in Vermont and in the Hamptons, and it took me 2 seconds to get close to them and, feeling part of the family.
Yeah. I mean, and let's clarify that episode, because I know you have such a good heart. I think we fell in love with you and your personality because you come into the house, Winter House, Summer House, as this warm, open person. A lot of times good looking people, I'm a comedian. So we joke on how good looking people don't really have a soul or a heart, but you really come in with personality. Tell us what you meant by it was almost like the whole audience was with you in that episode when you said to Paige that she reminds you of a mean girl. But what do you want to clarify from your end?
No, it was just
She's
like
not a mean girl, I know.
no, it was no, she's not at all. It was just random, but like she's kind of like the queen, she's like the queen of the house. So she gave me that like feeling. As I said, I kind of already felt catapulted in one of those movies. Even once again, if it was real life, I felt like that. And I was like, okay, she's like the queen of the school, the famous hit girl of the school. And we didn't really have that in Italy. So I was like kind of like that's like came really natural for me to say it, but it was no harm. It was no like bad
Right. Oh,
intention
you
for me
only
to
saw
say
it in the
that.
movies, right? In Italy. It's not like you guys had the high school
Yeah,
hierarchy.
I
Yes,
mean
I get that.
we have the hot girl of the school, but it's
Yeah.
not kind of the heat girl. And I feel like with her personality, she has a great, like fun, strong personality. So like she has more like that vibe of like, okay, I am the queen, and like I have that vibe.
Yeah.
I never like really experienced that. I've seen it in movies, and that's why it came out so naturally for me to say.
Let's talk about your relationship, because we first fell in love with you and Paige's relationship on Winter House,
Yeah.
and we wanted to root for you and see the continuation on Summer House. And now we see, I'm catching everybody up where Craig is back in, she
Yeah.
with you and Craig. So talk to us a little bit about, we see you getting emotional in the trailer. We see your real emotions getting involved. Talk to us about
Yeah,
your experience with this.
it was really like, we could have a really long conversation about it because there's a lot of going on. It was on different side, like different things happening. On one end, like I was coming of Vermont. We started getting out in the city. Things didn't work out. I mean, it's not that it didn't work out. I feel like she wasn't ready, and she kind of ghosted me. And then a few weeks after, I started reading about like her, like being like seen with Craig, them hanging out. At the same time, me and Craig were really good friends. We were chatting, but nothing like that was mentioned. But also in my private life, at the same time, I met somebody that I started like maturing feelings with, and then like the spring goes by and the summer is approaching. A lot going on in my head, a lot of excitement going to the Hamptons, like excited to get reunited with my group of friends. And also like kind of like dealing with like a person and relationship that I was like start like maturing with this girl that like I had a lot of feelings, but I wasn't able to express myself. She was, and I wasn't. So that was like a big struggle because I didn't feel ready. I was like, damn, I'm going to the entrance. Like I want to keep my options open. So mentally already that was like hard. And then you get into the entrance without zero expectation because all like I've been talking to Craig like all the entire time, the entire spring, like the end of the winter, the entire
He
spring.
never mentioned like you.
He never mentioned Paige.
Okay.
So I was just reading. I was reading the blogs.
Yeah.
I was reading the papers. Not like I didn't know what was really happening. So I had zero expectation. But then I got there. It was nice to see Paige, of course, because like you can be like mad at Paige. She's nice, she's sweet. So I couldn't be mad. And I didn't know what was happening. So we had that conversation. And at the same time, there was a lot of flirting. There was a lot of exploring. She was seeing Craig, but it wasn't exclusive. So for me, it was really confusing. But I was single. I didn't know what to do. So I was like, okay, let me explore that, And then the weeks passed by, a lot of things going on. I did my attempt to get closer to her, like in a cautious way at the end, because, like that, when we came back from the city, the fact that I got ghosted a little bit was like, it was kind of weird for me to deal with.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad because I'm really respectful. I want to give people space. But at the same time, it kind of burned me a little bit. So I wanted to have an approach cautious towards Paige. Plus, she was like seeing Craig. So I tried to see and explore if there was anything that could have happened between us. And then at one point, she made up her mind. She decided to lean towards Craig. And she had my support because I told her since day one, I want you to be happy. So either, I know I can make somebody happy, but at the same time, if you're happy with someone else, I respect that. And I'm happy. I'm happy now that, ended that way. And also going through that triangle, as people call it, like a love triangle.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a love triangle. Yes. I'm sorry.
It is.
And, and the funny is that we were talking about, I was talking about it with my girls over drinks, and then I'm like, and it's the best part of it all is Andrea is like you're like the example of, hey, it could happen to anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, like I don't even think that I owe myself, but it can literally happen to everyone. but is no, I appreciate you
know
saying
that,
but
in a positive way, meaning like everybody can relate. Like it's never personal. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. Everybody can go through that. But honestly, now almost like 9 months after, I came to the realization that all of that was necessary for me, for my life journey, for me to learning a lesson. Because what happened, I started like thinking of that person that I was seeing in the spring and realizing that my way of dealing with that situation was wrong, and like me like understanding that I had feelings for that person. I was just not able. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have like the face. Like I don't know how to say it, but to say those feelings back to that person. And that person that really got like upset and really sad about me not able to manifest my feelings when she opened up about her feelings towards me.
Of course.
So I kind of went through this like mental journey and realizing, like I saw like the chance with Paige is fading away, understanding that, like wouldn't I work out, and understanding that I already found before Paige a person that like would have been good for me. So I tried to reconnect with her, but I found a big wall, a big door shut into my face. No way for me to talk to her. Like she didn't want to hear from me. She was really hurt. Like she was like trying to auto convince herself that I was just an infatuation, that I wasn't really that guy that she thought I was. And that was really hurting, because I understand I was guilty, and I always apologize about it because I was guilty. But at the same time, I wanted to explain myself. I wanted to explain it was a tough situation. There was a lot of pressure. I couldn't see my family. I couldn't go back home. I was going to do something exciting, like going to the Hamptons and, hanging out with like all those friends. So like she wasn't really supportive at first. So that's why like things didn't work out. That's why at the start of the summer, before like, I started that Hamptons journey, like I felt like I was like, okay, I rather keep my options open. And that all that love triangle opened my eyes. It makes me understand, like what did I do? And I tried to win her back by the end of the summer, because I started feeling like a lot of going on in my head, and I didn't have the chance. And then finally was the biggest battle that I've been, my biggest challenge so far. Finally, after a lot of like tough moments, because I really went from like lack of sleep, a lot of anxiety, never experienced anxiety in my life, because it was like this feeling of I want someone, I care about that someone, I have feelings for that someone, and I couldn't tell that someone. So I felt like I needed to find a way to have a chance to speak to her, a chance to see her again. And she didn't want to hear from me. And after a few months, finally, like after like I would say 5 months of not speaking, at the end of November, finally we were able to reconnect.
Oh my
and
God.
it start like slow, step by step for a few days, and then I find a way to like switch things, and like we started like I was open about my feelings. Finally, I apologized. She also apologized for the way she decided to cope with things, because she was like, yes, I demonize you. Like I put in myself in my head, even if I was still thinking of you, I didn't want to see you as this guy that I fall for. Like I thought of you as a bad person. And she apologized for that. She apologized for the fact that she didn't give me the chance to talk. And that was great, because you had two people understanding their mistakes and, coming together and talk things through. It took a while. I wish it would have happened before, but it happened. And that's all that matters. Like you got to go through those experiences, through those life lessons. And I'm glad that it happened, because I think last summer made me more mature. Last summer opened my eyes towards a lot of things. It made me understand what my priorities are now, made me understand that the fun time, like the Andrea Playboy Andrea, Bachelor Andrea, it's long gone. Because let's be honest, my 20s were like a movie. Like, I'm grateful. I had a lot of fun experience. Like, I had so much fun. I had a lot of like dating experience, but I'm always been a believer in love. I'm always been a believer in family. And I feel like it's like I came to the realization that that's what I want in my life. And I met that person that I think, I want to take one step at a time, but I feel like is a person that we got so along that I could see spending my future with. And it's been exciting and making me really happy. And the last few months I've been really, really happy after seeing like the dark, the long tunnel. At the end, I finally saw the light and I've been really happy.
I love that. And I'm so happy for you because I think it's important. I've done reality TV and just being in the entertainment industry, like you said, it takes a mental toll on you. You need that partner that's going to support you and be by your side. And ladies, I want you to listen to what she did. Your partner was amazing of her to admit, which I've done too, is we tend to demonize men. We tend to put them down. We tend to put a lot of pressure. You can't cry.
Sometimes you're right to do that.
Yes.
But sometimes like I feel like you can find a different approach and confront with each other, because at the end there was a lack of conversation. Yes, I was guilty because I didn't like wanted to tell you my feelings. I was like projecting to the summer, like I kind of closed myself in a shell. But at the same time, I wish you would have like understand that it's something that can go through, like that a person can go through, because we're not perfect. We have a lot of like weakness, and sometimes you suffer from mental things, and you gotta like realize those things. It took me a while. Took me a while but I did. And, I wish we could have talked things through. But at one point, I'm happy that we find that thing. And also, she's been really supportive. She's been really supportive about my, the Bravo journey, about everything. And at first, when we first like hang out in the spring, she was against, but now she's been really supportive. And, she had the chance to hang out with some of my friends.
I was going to say, do you think we're going to see her maybe on Summer House next season?
I hope so. I mean, she's open to it. Like, I'm open for it.
Do you think we'll see a double date between you, her, Paige, and Craig? That would be such an epiphany.
I would do it. Listen, I love them, and I have no bad blood. I'm happy they worked out. So I'm happy to do a double dating with them. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And, like, I hope, my girlfriend is Lexi, and I hope she would do that. I never spoke about that idea, but I wouldn't be against it. We would
all love to see that. You know why? Because it's like bringing there's a lot of times we have these triangles, this drama, this love stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's almost like high school where we can't leave it back. But what Summer House does so great, you guys know how to converse, communicate about it, have it out, and then come back together and say, what? I'm going to put my shit aside to be happy for a friend. Where in real life, you don't get that. You don't get that stuff.
I mean, I'm always been that kind of person. Like, I'm always happy about my friends. Yeah. Also like, me and Paige we didn't work out. It meant we weren't like meant to be, she's a better match with Craig. You got to admit it to yourself. You got to be happy for your friends. And, right. You don't have to be possessive. You don't have to have any hard feelings. Some people you're meant to be, some people you're not. So that's why I'm always being really supportive towards them. And I'm always being supportive towards their kind of experience in my life, like before and other times, like even if I had a past with a girl, but that girl's like, we ended up thinking that girl's like liking a friend of mine. I want them to get together. It's like, I'm always been that kind of person and supportive.
I love that. Speaking of supportive friend, we're going to move on to Amanda and Kyle. We see their journey through this season. We see them getting married finally. Tell us, you've been there as the observer. We see a lot of your, it's interesting even in the camera when I see you on the show, I almost see like myself in you because I'm usually the observer too. And you can tell that there's a lot going on. How do you feel about the whole situation this season?
I want to say that also like watching it now after, I got to say that it's more intense than what I expected, because sometimes you're not in that room. So you don't know which kind of conversation are going on. Of course, we know there was some tension. Like I knew there was some tension, but at the same time, I feel like it was necessary for them. I'm always been a big fan of Kyle and Amanda, always believe in their love. And I know, of course, we're not perfect. None of us is perfect. So there's always going to be some things that people can fight about. But what it matters is that the love is winning. The love won. And, they are fighting and they found a way to work things through and, you know, to understand each other's mistake and work to make those mistakes not happening again. And then the best moment was like for them to getting married. You know, I love going to that wedding. I love like the celebration. You guys are going to see like Carr was celebrating the wedding. You know, the words that got used on both sides, it was really emotional. And, you know, in that moment, I was really struggling because I was really lonely and, you know, like I couldn't like I didn't have like anybody, you know, I was like, my head was like still like towards like my ex-girlfriend at the time, you know, like a lot of going on and being there and see those two people celebrating their love was so emotional. It was such a beautiful moment and it was the perfect way to end the summer. And, you know, I'm really happy they're doing well and I'm really excited for their future.
Same. And then we have the rest of the season, which looks amazing. Well, a couple more questions. I know I don't have that much time. Let's get to what happened this past week, Monday night, the fight between Danielle and Sierra. There's a lot going on that I think you can clarify for us. First of all, I thought they were all going to be going crazy over you. Austin. I mean, I love Austin, but Austin, where's the playbook here? You know, hook a girl up. I got to hang out with you, men.
No.
You had to get the right guy.
Austin
I love it. Great. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I would think they would all go crazy fighting over you.
But you know, like I never like been even like romantically involved with anybody but Paige. So like I created a beautiful friendship with all of them. Right. And you know, when you get to that point, you don't want to mess that up. Yeah. So, you know, like I don't, you know, they're fighting because they got romantically involved. So that's like a different situation. And, you know, Austin is a great guy. Like I know sometimes you can see that like in a weird way, but he's a great guy. He's a fun guy. And, you know, maybe I think that situation kind of slipped away from his hands, you know, like there was a lot of like, it was tipsy. Then, you know, one side you had Lindsay was celebrating her birthday. She wanted to have fun. On the other side, you have Sierra, which I had really deep feelings for him for a while. So there was a lot going on. And I feel like the situation kind of like Austin kind of lost track of what was really going on.
You think it was right for Danielle to jump in?
No. So I hosted that dinner.
Okay.
Like,
yes.
You know,
that's why I wanted to
it's
clarify.
my Italian dinner.
It was your dinner, right?
But as you see, I wasn't there in that moment.
I know.
Because I was outside crying and Luke was like comforting me.
I know. It was the most beautiful moment between two straight men, guys. That's a real man move.
Like, you know, we had that conversation, like that real conversation about love. It was really emotional. So I was like, got caught into my own things and I had to step away. And we didn't know that in that moment, there was the end of the world on the table. Like we didn't know. And when we came back into the house, we found the dining room completely messed up, like wine, like food all over. So it was really wild to find out that. And, you know, I didn't have the chance to see that until like the trailer here. So I didn't see that with my eyes. And then I thought there was like an apologies happened and things started getting better. But, you know, I read nowadays that there's still apparently there's still some beef, but, you know, the reunion is coming up and I hope, you know, I really want for them to, you know, make peace and I want them to just, you know, be friends and I hope that everything's going to be all right because I care about both of them and I want them to be in good terms. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be the chance to have a conversation about and to fix things.
Sure.
If there's still some beef as apparently there is.
Speaking of the reunion, what can we expect from this?
I don't know. It's going to be my first reunion. I don't know what to expect.
Okay.
I'm scared. I'm excited. Like, you know, let's see.
Right. Okay. So we have a lot to look forward to. Before we wrap this up, what place in the city do you like to go for date night or just to escape? Chanel in the City audience wants to know, where should we check out for food? Your favorite place?
Okay. So I've been living in New York for 8 years. I feel like I've been to a lot of like restaurants, even though like now I have my favorites. And, you know, like I also like the area where I live, which is like Battery Park, that entire Tribeca Battery Park. So I always like go to those places. But, you know, I also like going to Seoul. So I have my favorite Italian restaurant, which is Piccola Cucina. I think is great Italian food. There's a lot of Italian food in New York, but like Piccola Cucina is legit good one.
Legit. I need to check that out. Yes, we need a good
you got to check
Italian
that out.
place.
And if you want like good, authentic Italian pizza, you should go to Numero 28 and Queste.
Ooh,
There's one in the Faidai and one in West Village. Numero 28, one in West Village and one in East Village.
okay.
So you have like a few options to choose from. And that's real legit pizza. Then I love Mexican food. And one of my favorite places by Battery Park is called El Ves. And, you know, like I still like the hot spot, you know, like Koi for sushi, Nobu,
Yeah.
like Cipriani. I like
Have you been to
those
La
places.
Esquina yet?
Esquina, yes. Actually, it's
Okay,
one of
yeah.
the first restaurants that I've been when I first moved to New York. I used to go there all the time. I haven't been in actually, no, it's not true. I went there like in September. No, it's a good spot.
It's my
It's
favorite.
a good
Yeah.
vibe, you know. Like even if you go either inside or if you go like to taco bars, like it's a nice spot.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, there's a lot of good spots.
There's
Like,
good.
you know, we're lucky to live in New York City and there's like a lot of like good spot to go. But try that Italian.
I
You're gonna
will.
love
I
it.
need that like suggestion. Okay, quickly, what would you say is the key success to be living in the winter house and summer house and keep the longevity like the way you have? The fact that you were on winter house, now summer house, you're probably going to come back where you should expect the season 2 for winter house. I know you can't talk about that yet, but we're looking forward to it.
I mean, I said it before. I took a break. I wanted to spend time with my beloved
Oh,
one.
you did? Okay.
We went to Hawaii. We celebrated a birthday there. We had the best time. We had a really beautiful 2 weeks of vacation. So yeah, I just think, you know, it's all about like, we are like really fun people. And I feel like as soon as you're like, feel comfortable with everyone, and, you know, I'm really easygoing. I'm like a really easygoing person. So I feel like that's the key. Like, just, you know, be open, enjoy yourself. It's so fun. Like, you know, we all like, I feel like we all created a wonderful bond, and it's all about like getting there with the free spirit that you're going to make some great friends. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. And I'm really happy that, you know, I became close to all my friends from Vermont and from the Hamptons.
We love you. We're rooting for you and Lexi. We're rooting to see her on
Thank
the
you.
next season of Summer House with you.
I would love to. Like, I feel like
And that double
it would be
date.
great.
Listen, invite me in the background. I'll do stand-up comedy for you. I'll just make you laugh. You'll be like,
Or we
oh,
can
let's
do a
have a
date.
foursome.
We can do a date at you
Yes.
like, I mean, like, I would
Please,
love that.
by the way, if you have any friends, please hook a sister up. I need to start dating.
Oh, you're
again.
single.
I'm single, ready to mingle.
Oh,
Yeah. I need to hang out with
You
guys.
like Italians?
I love Italians. Please.
Okay, we gotta find an Italian.
I got to go out with you guys. Yeah, for once. But let everybody, thank you for doing the podcast. We love you. We're rooting for you.
Thank you for having me.
And let us know where everyone can follow you.
I mean, you can find me on every social, like on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok, but I barely post. And, you know, you can just find me under my name, Andrea Denver. And I thank you for so much for having me. Like, you're great. Like, I love your personality, your vibe.
Well,
and,
I knew we would vibe.
Yeah, I love it. And it's just so nice to chatting with you.
Yes, and I hope to have you guys back soon again. We're going to talk about hopefully towards the end of Summer House, and anything you want to plug in, anything else.
Anytime you want me, I'll be back. Hello, everyone. Here's Andrea Denver from Summer House, and I feel honored to be on Chanel in the City with Chanel Omari on her podcast. Let's do it.